Hey, 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 it's Dr. J. I'm back with 6.3, part 2. Promise I'll try to make this as painless as possible. We've already talked about tax, so probably won't talk too much about that anymore. Last time I left you, it was discounts we were talking about. So I'm going to start with that, and then we'll go from there and make our way through the rest of the material and be done with the section. So again, I just have to emphasize the difference between the words off and of. And so if you say that you paid $80 for an item that is on sale, for 40% of the original price, what is the original price? All right, so 40% of, so you paid S, that's the sale price. The original price is P, which we're looking for, that's our unknown. And then 40% of means that $80, remember, let me write the formula. If it's of, then you want to say S is 40%, which is 0.40, or you could just put 0.4, times P. So 40% of the original price, so 40% times P. And I don't really need to put a dot for times. Okay. And so then S is $80. I'm going to go ahead and write 40% just as 4/10, 0.4. And then P is the unknown value that you're solving for. Okay. So now there's only one variable here. So in fact, every problem, even if there's multiple letters in the formula, there's only one of the letters, one of the unknowns that I'm asking for at any given time. So you can divide by 4/10. Yeah, I'm kind of solving it backwards. If you like, you can rearrange it so that it's a more friendly way of looking at it. So 80 divided by 0.4 is $200. I guess I could have done that with mental math, right? 80 divided by 4/10 is 800 divided by 4. Yeah? Just multiply the top and bottom by 10. If you like to use mental math, you get 800. Here, I'll put a little cloud here just for fun. This is the same as 800 divided by 4. If you want to do it with mental math, that's 200. Okay, so you paid, original price was $200. Now, I could take this exact same question, which I probably will, but I'll call it example 2, and I only have to change one letter, or add one letter. So 40% off. If I say 40% off, now the formula is S equals 1 minus R times P, where R is 40%. So it's going to be $80 is 1 minus 40%. I'm using the same 40% here. So R is 40%, written as a decimal. That's R. Let's put a little R up here. And then P is what we're solving for. So P is still P. It's unknown. And now the 40% becomes 60%. So again, 40% off is the same as 60% of. And so now I'm dividing by 6/10. This one probably won't come out as nice. That would be, again, if you want to use mental math, that would be 800 divided by 6. Just multiply the top and bottom by 10. I can't do 800 divided by 6 in my head. So P is 800 divided by 6 comes out to $133.33. It's 333333333 forever and ever, but I'm just going to say 33 cents, rounding. Okay, so that's it for the discounts. There's also one topic that's not listed in this, and that's the markups, which markups are really just like tax, but they don't call it tax, they'll call it a markup. So a markup is what businesses do. Businesses? I don't know if I've spelled that right. How about company? I always hate spelling the word business. B-U-I-S-E-N. How many double S's are there in it? I don't know. But it's what a company uses to make a profit on an item. Yeah, it's kind of like tax. Yeah. So we use the same formula as tax or tip. So a tax, a tip, or a markup are all exactly the same formula. You're taking some base price called the principal or the original price, and then you're marking it up. Yeah. In the case of a company or a business or a retailer or something like that, they're marking up what we know as the wholesale price. So in example 3, a retailer marks up an item by 15%. Okay, so what is the selling price of an item that wholesales for $35? So the wholesale price is kind of like the original price. So that would be our P. And then the markup is your R. And we want to know what is the selling price. So the unknown value is S. That's what we're looking for, is S. And it basically the same thing as taxes and tips. So you're going to say S is 1 plus R times P. Same formula as before. Mark up. Yeah, so plus, we're adding an additional 15%. So the selling price of a $35 item, knocked over the camera. %, markup. So remember, you got to put the markup in decimal form. So the rate would be 15%, 0.15. The original price is $35. Oftentimes, if you're doing business math, you'll just do this all mentally. So if you see 15%, you add 1 to it, and you can jump right to this step. So this is 115%, 1.15 times $35. I'm going to go ahead and just put the answer over here. So $35 times 1.15 is $40.25. So this would be the sale price, or the selling price. I'm not saying that it's on sale. It's actually been marked up. Okay. So I don't have much more to say about that. If I give you a markup problem, I'm essentially saying it's like tax. Yeah, this is the same thing as 15% tax or a 15% tip or whatever we happen to be talking about in that particular problem. So before we move on to commission, camera's mad for getting knocked over. Now it's going to start acting funny on me. Come on back to me. Well, before moving on, hopefully this camera will come back to focus. I want to talk about just the different terminologies, and maybe so that when you read the question, you don't have to scramble for which formula to use. You can have, quick reference that would help you determine which formula to use. I don't know what's going on with my camera. It's not coming back into focus. Come on back. It's one of those days. There we go. So just a couple things I want to mention before we move on and finish this lesson. It looks like I might get this done in record time today. If I say a 15%, well, let's use a different number. Let's go back to 20%. Doesn't matter what number I use, but suppose I say 20% discount. 20% discount, and I don't use the terms of or off. Yeah, this automatically means off. This is what we call an implied off. Yeah, so it means 20% off. So the formula would be S equals 1 minus 20%. That's your rate, 20%. Yeah. Times the original price, P. Right. And then these will vary. This is in general R. Yeah, but we want to write R as a decimal. Okay. So you always take your rate and rewrite it as a decimal. Okay. So I just want to make that clear. All right. If I say 20% tax, yeah, that's the same as a markup or a tip. They mean exactly the same thing. So you really only need to memorize discounts and taxes. Yeah. And so the formula would be S equals 1 plus 20% times P. And now I'm not going to solve these, but I mean, just to kind of give you the idea, this one turns into 80% when you go to solve it. I'm putting it in the wrong place. So I'm talking about the discount one. The markup or the tip turns into 120%, 1.2. Now, I'm just using 20% as an example. Of course, the percentage will change. It could be 5, it could be 10, it could be 20, it could be 40, whatever. Okay. So how does this relate to the terminology of? Well, a discount is off. So you'd say 20% discount is the same as 80% of. So a 20% discount means the same thing as 80% of the original. Just kind of gives you a quick way of going, okay, how do I get to here very quickly? By just thinking, okay, read the question, what does it say, and then jump right to here, and then it gives you a much easier time in solving the equation. Okay. And then if you say a 20% markup, tip, or tax, they all mean the same thing, that would be 120% of. So the of is in there, whether you see it or not. It's just being translated from a 20% into 120% of the original. And there's lots of different names for the original, which, be the selling or the wholesale price, or the original price, or the principal base price. There's lots of different names for it. Okay. So I hope that helps, because in previewing my part 1 video, I didn't want to leave you thinking, oh my God, I got to memorize all these different formulas, and how am I ever going to know? And I don't want you to read the question and go scrambling through all the notes trying to find which formula to use. You really can use just these 2 formulas for pretty much all of the discounts, markups, taxes, tips, things like that. Can all use one of these 2. Just make sure you know which one you're using. Okay. And then having said that, the last thing we're going to talk about now is a commission, right? And a commission is a lot like a markup. Yeah, it's you're adding an additional amount. And that usually applies to sales. I don't know if anybody out there has ever had a job where you have to sell things to make your check. So you often earn a commission on their sales, or on the amount of sales. So example 4, suppose your weekly sales, now it's not always done weekly, but it's usually weekly. Sometimes it's bi-weekly or once a month or something like that. They hardly ever make you wait a whole year, but I don't know. I mean, there might be a company out there, at the end of the year, you get a big giant commission check. I'm assuming this is weekly. Suppose your weekly sales, you're a salesperson, you work in a business, and you sold $3,700 worth of whatever the company sells, right? How much in commission do you earn if the rate is 12.5%, not $12.50, 12.5%. So commission is C, yeah, and it's the same as tax, yeah. It's the amount of sales, which I'm going to call P, not S. I know that drives people nuts, but think of it as how much they've produced. Yeah, they have produced $3,700 in sales times the interest rate as a decimal. Notice this is exactly the same formula as tax. Yeah, it's also the same formula as tip. It's also the same formula as a markup. Okay. So commission is the principal amount, or how much you produced in sales, multiplied by the interest rate. So $3,700 times 0.125. Remember, you take the 12.5%, you divide it by 100, get rid of the percentage sign, and move the decimal 2 places to the left. So $3,700 check, or $3,700 in sales, multiplied by 0.125, and that gives you 462.5. So your commission is $462.50. Same formula as a tip. A commission is essentially your boss or the owners of the company giving you a tip. All right, they're giving you a tip for the $3,700 in sales that you earned. So some people just do this. Why memorize a new formula? Just call this a tip. All right. Thanks for the tip. Yeah. And then you don't have to memorize a new formula. You don't need to have a new variable show up or anything like that. Okay. So I guess I'll end this lecture with a couple more. Well, you guys are getting off easy today. I think you've probably already had enough video watching this week already, right? So I like to take this problem and sort of turn it around like I did at the very beginning with the tax problem, sales tax. It's kind of the same idea here. So I like to sort of end where we began with the same concept. Why don't I take this problem and flip it around a little bit? Suppose a salesperson earned $1,045.03 in commission. If their total sales were, or was, I said were, I guess, $8,100.97, what is their commission rate? It's kind of like the tax question, right? So the total sales now, again, total sales is P, not S. Although you could use the letter S if you want, but then it might confuse the other formulas because it's using the same variable. We try to be consistent. I think of productivity. Yeah. How much did you produce for that company? You produced $8,100.97. Your commission, again, you can use the letter C, but take a little tip from me. Use T. It's just like tax. Yeah. It's basically saying that this amount had this much tax. Yeah. And then the unknown value is R that you're solving for. So you have T equals PR. So $1,045.03 equals $8,100.97 times R. Yeah. Again, you could just call it X if you really want, but I like to use R because then it tells me it's the rate. Yeah, commission rate. These are pretty much one-step problems. The main thing is to set them up correctly because you only get one step. And so if you don't build that one step correctly, it's not going to come out nicely. So you're dividing by 8,197. 8,197 cents. So you got 1,045.03 cents divided by 8,197 cents. So you get R. I've been solving a lot of my equations backwards today, huh? If you like to rewrite it so that the R is on the left side so it looks more natural, you certainly can. I'm not going to. I don't have enough room on my... So you get 0.12900. It actually goes 0006, blah, 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 but I don't need that many decimal places. I want you to round to the nearest tenth of 1%. Tenth of 1% is actually the third decimal place. Yeah. And think about why. The first decimal is whole, 0, yeah. Then tens, then ones, then tenths. All right. So your dictator is actually here. The 0 is the dictator. Yeah, the digit just past the 9. And so since that digit is definitely less than 5, we're just going to throw away all these zeros. And we're going to say R is 12.9. Move the decimal 2 places. Percent. So 12.9% is the commission rate. And finally, I guess there's only 3 letters in this formula, so I can only ask 3 different things. I can either ask for T. T is the amount of commission. All right. It's like a tip. Or I could ask for P, or I could ask for R. I've already asked for T and R, so I guess in my last example I asked for P. So if a salesperson earned $168.26 in commission, and their rate of commission is 6.2%, what was their total sales? And now this is dangerous with variables. Total sales sounds like T, yeah? But it's not. It's P. Yeah? Total sales is P. Commission is like a tip, so that's T. Now remember, mathematicians don't even have to be a mathematician. Just human beings in general, that solve problems, which includes mathematicians, can choose whatever variables they want. So, I mean, you certainly could choose total sales is S and commission is C, and then you could say your rate is P if you wanted. I mean, you can choose the letters you want. But once you make your bed, you have to lie in it, right? So if you choose this, well, then you better take it, because that's what you chose. Right? And so the formula would then be C equals SP. Yeah? Commission equals sales times percentage. And there you go. You can make up, and put a little dot here for times just to be absolutely clear. You can make up your own formulas. Now, why am I not doing that? Well, I'm telling you, you can, but why don't I do that? Because I don't want to memorize 87,000 different formulas. I just want to memorize 1 or maybe 2 formulas, and then I can adapt those to lots of different things. And so I think, well, a commission is like a tip, so that's T. Total sales is P, productivity. How much am I producing in my total sales? That's actually the unknown value. And What's my commission rate? I like to use R. I'm also going to be using R for rate in the next section, 6.4. And you're also going to see R for rate in beginning, intermediate, and college level algebra. R is the standard variable used for R, for rate. And then P, productivity, is also known as principal or price, or lots of things for P. So I'm going to go ahead and stick with my T equals PR formula. It means the same thing. Okay. I'll leave it to you to decide what letters you want to use. But if you use my letters, you'll be much more prepared for the future. So P is our unknown value. 6.2%. Remember, we have to write that as a decimal. That is 6.2 over 100. Just to give you a little mind blob here. 6.2 divided by 100 becomes 0.062. And then divide both sides by 0.062. And my weekly productivity, or how much I produced this week in sales, is a lot. Well, not too much, but rounded to the nearest cent. Let me put it up here so you can see it clearly. $2,713.87. There you go. All right, so that's your tip. Your $168.26 on top of the, well, you didn't get to keep this $2,700. That's the boss's money, or that's the company's money, and this is your little tip doing that. Wow, half an hour. Shortest lecture of the entire semester, probably. Well, I guess that'll do it. I'll be on my office hours, normal times, 11 o'clock, if you have any questions. But until we meet again, this is Dr. Jordan. I'll see you on the internet.